Howdy y'all, you got the Bulldog on the channel. I got a couple of things I was going to show you out here. Getting some things kind of tied up and done. Remember the old IDI stroker that I was working on? Customer came in today and gave me the air cleaner box that he had at his place. We got an element we put in it, and I told him what we found on it. It had come in with a no start, and they've been working on it for quite some time. They put batteries in it, they put an alternator on it, they put a starter on it, and just lots of different things trying to fix it. It never charged, they didn't think, and I put the starter on it, fired right up. It had to bleed air out of the system a little bit, but we got it fired up and running. And as it was sitting there running, I could hear something. I didn't know what it was, but I could hear something. I was testing the alternator, and of course it wasn't charging. Brand new alternator, or new rebuild. There's even a date wrote on the alternator. 11/18 of 20. But I figured, well, maybe we ought to check something. So I come over here to the starter solenoid. The wire, the charge wire of the alternator comes into this harness here, and it comes across and comes out of the wiring for the starter solenoid, this wire right here. And I looked, and it was hooked on this side. This wire is the engagement for the starter. I shut the truck off real quick and double checked myself, and sure enough, the charge wire of the alternator was hooked on the solenoid side of the starter solenoid. So the starter was staying engaged. I swapped it, put it back over here where it was supposed to be, fired the truck back up, and it didn't have a funny noise anymore. That funny noise was the gear staying engaged. I'm glad I didn't sit there and wrap it out. Starter sounds like it lived. And I checked it, and lo and behold, the alternator charges now. But that's what we found on it. So after a test drive, we'll consider this truck done. And there's something else over here that I just found. Finally got an opportunity to work on this square body Chevy in there. This is the second time that I have found this. Customer complaint is that it wouldn't start after a rebuild. Acted like it was out of time. I've already started on it, finding number one. I popped number one, make sure it was in the right spot. But here's number one wire. It's going to be 1843657 small block Chevy, and I'm tracking them down. 1, this goes back here, 8. This is going to go over here, 4, but I ran it over to number 2. And it's supposed to be, whoa. Sorry, did you get dizzy? This is supposed to 1, 8, 4, 1, 8, 4, 3, and it's going over here to number 4. 6 goes to 6, 5 goes to 5, 3, 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7 goes to 3, and 2 goes to 7. For some reason it wouldn't run. Sometimes before you get all involved and complicated and start changing parts, stop, think, double check yourself. Like I say, this is the second one I've seen do this. The other one was a high performance 5.0 Mustang, and they had even put custom fit Moroso wires on it, and they couldn't get it to run. The guy that bought it showed me all the receipts where the previous owner spent 10 grand on it trying to make it run. And I looked, and it had the wires all screwed up. It was the wrong firing order. There was no firing order to it. It didn't match anything. Not Chevy, not Ford, not Dodge. And it was just a real simple deal of just double checking it. And I got to look at it. Well, that ain't right. And of course, they're cut to fit wires. I took them all off and, started routing them shortest to longest so that I could kind of, have a little extra to work with if I needed to. And got back in. I had put new plugs in it. It had auto light plugs. I see a lot of people running auto light plugs in Fords. Yeah, it worked 50 years ago. In the older systems, I guess it does okay. They're high resistance plug. But in the modern ones, I have not seen it work at all. I've seen a lot of burned up coils and a lot of foul outs. Of course, these plugs were all fouled out anyway because they had the wrong timing order. But I found some Motorcraft fine wire plugs to fit the high performance heads and put them in there. She fired up and wow, wow, ready to go. Customer was pretty happy that that's all it was. We're, weeding through the rest of the stuff, trying to get the car ready to roll again because it's a kind of a custom build. So we're having to make some things for it, but figured I'd pop on here and show you a couple of little things. It's real easy to be thinking of something else and start down that road and just go right over the basic. And if you don't double check yourself, sometimes it'll come back to bite you. I've seen the laymen do it a lot, but I've seen mechanics do the exact same thing. They'll go right over top of something because it's too simple, too basic. There's no way it could be that. It's got to be something, big, complicated. No, it don't have to be big and complicated. Sometimes it's, the simplest, dumbest things that'll, mess everything all up. But like, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk at you later.